Hello, this is Dr. Ginger Bratzel, and it's time for your daily dental snippet. I wanted to take a few minutes and share with you that I had an exciting day this week with a true friend, a true brilliant masterminder, a great mentor, and a fantastic businessman. I don't have permission to share his name, so I'm not going to, but the important thing is it's not about name dropping, and that's a whole big aha I walked out of there. This guy is totally anonymous. He's not in the internet field. He's not hiding out underground. I mean, he's a normal guy. He's a dad. He's a husband. He's an active member of his church, his community. He just does his thing, and he has a fantastically huge 35 million plus media and communication business. And it didn't happen by accident. He's brilliant. And what he is focused on is finding people who have not been served. And that was my big aha. If everyone's going off to do this, he was just doing his thing over doing this. There's a whole group of people that weren't being served because everyone was over here. And because that group wasn't being served, they became very loyal to him very quickly. They were so happy that someone would reach out to them. They became ravenous. They stay with him, and they are big buyers. They like him. They like what he stands for, and he likes what he's selling, his services. Another big thing we had about yesterday, as we left, he talks about there's companies and there's businesses. Businesses make money. We all want businesses. But a company is a big asset. It's something that can be sold off later. He has a brick and mortar, as I said, communication company. It has assets, not just customer lists. It has buildings, it has equipment, it has infrastructure to be sold off because he feels that's very valuable. Right now, in dentistry, a dental practice could be a company. It could be sold off, but it actually, unless there's a buyer for it and is willing to pay what you want, it really isn't a company. And so that's kind of a double-edged sword. Most dentists believe they can retire off the sale of their practice. Very few can. They think they can sell their patient list at the minimum later. Not always everyone wants to pay your patient list. Everyone thinks they have all this money invested in your equipment. You come in, you spent $100,000 for a piece of equipment this year. You might be selling it for $1,000 next year. So it loses value very quickly. It's high technology. It's just the nature of the beast. So that's what he looked at to build a company. Now, is that for you and me? I don't know. You can answer that better than I can. But that was one of the big ahas I walked out of there, and he kept, thinking people think they have these companies, but they have businesses. So think about, what do you have? What do you really have? What is the value? If you have a dental practice doing $1 million a year, it's not necessarily worth $1 million, and that's not off of dental appraisals. That's off of what will somebody pay for it, and it depended on the economy. It depended on where you're located, things like that. So he really was big on that. He could sell. His businesses are not even where he's at. They're in other areas, and he has a central location of where he's at, and that's just the way he is. He's very low key. That, like I said, the other thing is we heard so much about branding, social media, things like that. Yes, they're very important for building companies, business, whatever, or are they? He is totally anonymous. I could give you his name. His name is, like Joe Smith. It is so mundane, and what he just does his thing and makes money. And he's so counterintuitive to all this glitz and glam. You got to be out there, and everyone in the community's got to know who you are. He's a dad. He's a husband. He's a businessman. He's a community leader. He just does that without much attention to himself, and he's very successful. So I wanted to share those big ahas with you. I was blown away when I walked out because this is a huge company, and he does it without very little effort. Without very little pizzazz, and on a very shoestring budget to create these big profits. So I wanted to share that with you, give you some food for thought, and you got to be a fly in the wall with me from my experience yesterday. Again, this is Ginger Bratzel, and this is your Business Dental Daily Snippet. Take care. Bye-bye.